This is a very important message, and I feel like you guys need to really like realize how important this is. But please, in this season, please pay attention to your heart. In general, like not even just the season, in general, pay attention to your heart. But the reason why I'm saying really just pay a lot of attention this season is because God revealed to me they're doing something. Listen, remember how I told you, like us children of God, we have our seasons. The kingdom of darkness has their seasons too. And each season is almost like they switch up the rituals each season. I talked about this, I think last week or the week before. They switch up their rituals. They're doing something now where it's like they're messing with people's hearts. And David talks about this in the book of Psalms. David was telling God, you know, when he was venting to God and complaining about what his enemies are doing, he was telling God to help him because he's like, God, they're shooting arrows upright in my heart. They aim for the heart. I told you guys this plenty of times. They aim for the heart. And one thing God was telling me is like, these people are extremely jealous of your heart. They're jealous of your heart. You know, when you're following Christ, you have like a heart like a child, you know, like a heart of gold. There's train tracks here. Sorry, y'all. They're extremely jealous of your heart. And a lot of them, it's almost like they want you to be cold like them. They want you to be cold. Even most of you guys growing up, you may have noticed that people have been antagonizing you, torturing you, you know, and traumatizing you in hopes that you would change and be this evil person, and you never did. You continue to stay true to who you are. You continue to lead with grace and humility, right? And they can't stand that. Some people can't stand the fact that no matter what you've endured, you're still a good person. They can't stand that because you know what it is? It's a reflection. It shows them like, hey, look how much things that this person went through, yet they're still a good person. It's like a reflection. They don't like to see that. So what I saw in the spirit was they're doing stuff to people's hearts. You'll know if this is a warfare that you're battling right now, because it's almost like you have this feeling of wanting to turn cold, or you have this feeling of just being numb. And it's almost like not caring about anything in life anymore. Not caring about God's promises for you anymore. It's almost like you're just like, I don't care anymore. And that's, you can't have that mentality. You can't. Because it's a domino effect. Once you stop caring and you start feeling numb, or you start going cold, what ends up happening is you're not going to be as ambitious to do God's work anymore. You're not going to be as ambitious to keep thriving, to keep going. And if you're not ambitious, guess what? You're most likely going to try to give up because you're not ambitious. And that's what they want. That's why in the video I just posted, stay consistent. Because God said it's almost time. Like, there's people that are literally so close to their breakthrough, so close to, you know, seeing a shift. And it's almost like the attacks, it's aiming to their heart right now to try to make them like feel discouraged, and to try to like make them want to give up right when it's time for them to receive what it is that they're supposed to receive. Don't even give up. Another thing I noticed is they're aiming for marriages right now. Here's how you'll know if your marriage is being attacked. Because no matter what you've endured, it's like you have so much love for your kingdom partner, for your wife or for your husband. You have so much love no matter what you've endured. It's like every other time you think about what you've been through, your heart is so forgiving to everybody, and your heart is so forgiving to your kingdom partner if something happened between you guys, or if nothing happened to you guys, your heart's just forgiving. You know, like the things you've endured in the past, you're not going to allow that to cause any turmoil in your new relationship. You're not going to bring that baggage from your past relationship into your new relationship, because you've forgiven. Your heart is still good. Your heart is still pure. Do you see what I'm saying? But then for some reason, you'll notice like, okay, Why do I feel like I'm happy, I'm forgiving, and I'm excited to be with my person, and then all of a sudden it's almost like you lost the desire to even be in love? You lost the desire to, you never lost it, but it feels like you lost it, or you're losing the desire to get married, or if you're married, the desire to just be in love. It's almost like something is blocking your heart from opening up. That's a spell. That's a spell. That's what God said last night. He said it's a spell. That's what they're doing. They're doing spells to close up our hearts. But it's not working. It's not working, because when you have a good heart, you have a good heart. Nothing can block it. Right? But the thing about it is, if you don't have the wisdom and the knowledge, how are you going to pray against something you don't even know is happening? You see what I'm saying? How could you rebuke it and pray against it if you just think it's normal that you want to give up? Or it's normal that you're like, you don't care about love no more. Or you think it's normal that you just don't want to get married anymore. You're like, God, I don't even care about getting married no more. Honestly, I don't even want to get married anymore. I don't care if I'm alone for the rest of my life. Like, if you start thinking that way, and you start thinking it's normal to think that way, and it's because you think that is because you're going through something as to why you're thinking that way, not realizing it's a spell, then how are you going to rebuke that? How are you going to cancel that? See, when God let me know last night it was a spell, I'm like, man, now that I have the knowledge, I can pray against it. You see what I'm saying? Now I can pray against it, because I know it's not normal. And that's how you'll know, because you're not the kind of person who thinks like that. You're not the kind of person who feels like that. Because no matter how much you went through your whole life, your heart still was open. Your heart was still good. Why all of a sudden now is your heart feeling like it's closing, when your heart has been open all these years through all these traumatic events? Why now does it feel like it's closing? Why now are you feeling numb? Why now are you not desiring to be with anybody anymore? You get what I'm saying? Because obviously there's something that shifted, and it's a warfare. This is why it's so important to know who you are and to know thyself. God always says, know thyself, know who you are. Because when you know who you are and you know yourself, you know when things are not right. You see what I'm saying? No one could ever fool you. I told you guys, not last week, but the week before, I said they were sending the Leviathan spirit and the Jezebel spirit, because I saw it in the spirit, right? And I remember I told you how there was a lot of temptation happening in kingdom marriages, how they're trying to cause breakups. They're trying to block marriages from coming together. They're trying to cause turmoil between couples, because they don't want them to come together, or they don't want them to fulfill God's mission together. So they're doing a lot of nonsense, and the majority of it is people who are jealous of the love that you and your partner have, or they're jealous of the love that you guys are going to have. So I'm pretty sure they're seeing prophecies of your marriage, or probably seeing prophecies of your love together and the purpose that you guys have together. But they're jealous of the love. The kingdom of darkness does not like love. They don't want you to love yourself. They don't want you to love people. They definitely don't want you to be in a loving, healthy marriage. The devil wants you to be in a toxic marriage. The devil wants you to be cheated on. The devil wants you to be lied to. The devil wants you to be damaged. He's here to kill and destroy. He's here to kill, steal, and destroy. Anything good he wants to take from you. So that's why they try to cause all these problems in marriages or relationships before they go into marriage, in hopes they can destroy the covenant. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys about that Leviathan spirit and Jezebel spirit. They were working together. I was seeing it in the spirit. I think it was last week I saw it. They're working together, and they're trying to prevent covenants from coming together, because it's a season now where God is literally bringing kingdom marriages together, or people are literally finally getting married now. You know what I mean? And it's like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1. When God puts you and a partner together, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. When God puts you guys together, it's because there's a purpose. Both of you guys are supposed to do something through God's will together. But what God brings together, let no man separate. No spell, no hex, no curse, no nothing can stop what God has joined together. What God has joined together, let no man separate. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know, like, let me tell you something, guys. I'm going to be real with you. And I know this because I observe Every time a spell or a ritual is done on me, I observe how I feel, how I think, because I know who I am as a person. So I observe, and I know when it's not me, and I know when it's something manipulating. You get what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Before, this is what they do. Before, if they know you're about to go into a marriage, or they know that your marriage, that the marriage that God has for you is going to be prosperous, and there's something that's coming in it, or there's some type of jealous person that can see it, and they don't want you to be, you know, with that man or with that woman, because they know that you guys are going to have something beautiful. Remember, the kingdom of darkness hates love. That means anyone that the devil is using hates love. This could be your friend, this could be your cousin, this could be your uncle, this could be your auntie, this can be the people in your family that have been suffering from marital curses, and they have not done the work, and they may have felt like it's too late for them, and then they see that you have a healthy relationship in store, and because they hate love, they have no love in their heart, they don't want you to have love. Most of the times, whenever you see someone trying to block a relationship or block a marriage or block love, is because they don't have love in their heart. So they're not going to be happy for you having love, or they're not going to be happy about you loving yourself and taking care of yourself, because they don't even love themselves. You get what I'm saying? They have not done the work to heal. So it's almost like they want to destroy anything that brings happiness to a child of God. That's why the devil uses them. You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you, when they do these types of spells to try to make you prevent something beautiful from coming in your life, they first do these spells on you to make you not love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, it's going to be hard for you to love someone else. It's like you'll start feeling all these weird insecurity feelings and all this weird stuff. And then next thing you know, you start getting numb, and you're like, oh, I don't even want love anymore. I'm turned off from relationships. I'm turned off from men, or I'm turned off from women. God, I don't even want my marriage anymore. It's almost like you start praying against your own marriage. Do you guys see that? That's a spell. That's a spell. What they do first is they do a separation spell. They bring in a separation spell first. They have to do a separation spell before they do a love spell. A love spell won't work unless a separation spell is being done. So what they have to do, they're very organized with their rituals and stuff. They're very organized. Okay? And I always noticed that before I would see counterfeits try to come in and try to get at me, I would always notice that there was a separation spell done first, where I would feel either numb or I would lose my desire to be married. And it's not like there's a difference between, you know, not idolizing marriage and just be surrendering and letting God bring things in order according to his timing, compared to just disliking the fact that marriage even exists. That's not good, right? But I wouldn't get to that extent, but I would notice when something is being done, and I'm like, yeah, they're doing a separation spell, because I went from being so excited and happy about my future to all of a sudden being numb and not caring about it. And that's when I would rebuke it. That's when I would cancel it. And then I noticed that when I do that, I start going back to who I am. Like, I start feeling happy again. My heart opens up again. You know what I mean? I'm full of forgiveness again, all of that. So that's what they do. If you don't understand and you don't have the knowledge about that, and you're not, because you don't have the knowledge, you're kind of not rebuking it, then it's almost like you're accepting it, you're allowing it, and then your heart starts to change. These people want you to be cold-hearted like them. They want you to be cold-hearted like them. You know what I mean? It's not a challenge for them to attack someone who's already evil. It's a challenge for them to attack someone who has a pure heart. Do you get that? That's why they come after those who have genuine hearts, those who love, those who forgive. And what they do, like I stated before, is they do a separation spell first to try to make you lose your desire for your partner. And after they do the separation spell and try to make you lose your desire for your partner, then they do a love spell to bring in a new person. So you end up with the wrong person. So you end up with a counterfeit. So you end up in a toxic relationship. So you end up with someone who's going to do witchcraft on you. Hence why you'll notice a lot of times with kingdom marriages, you'll notice that, you know, I don't know if everyone's story is the same, but I notice a pattern of the kingdom husband or the kingdom wife looking as if they're the counterfeit, but they're not. And then the counterfeit looking like they're the real deal. And then I would always notice the patterns of seeing people ending up with the counterfeit thinking they're the real deal, and then finding out that the whole time the counterfeit was actually a warlock, or the counterfeit was actually a witch. And it's like, they're like, how did I not know? How did I not realize it? If I'm a child of God, how did I not know this was a witch or a warlock? I should have known. My discernment should have been on point. But that's the thing. When they do separation spells, they make you lose your desire for your actual person with the separation spell. And because you're not feeling the love in your heart, you're feeling numbness, you're feeling anger and a resentment. And then they do the love spell. So when you look at the counterfeit, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting butterflies in my stomach. I think this is the one. It's a trick. How do you know? You will know because once you denounce it, once you pray against it, and if you get down on your knees and you pray to God and say, God, whoever my person is, please reveal it to me. And God, if this is not my person, please remove. If this is not my person, Lord, this is not you. This is not authentic love from you, Lord. If this is a love spell, I rebuke it. You got to pray against it. I rebuke it if it's a love spell, if there's a separation spell, etc., etc., etc. Even going into a fast will help. And then what will happen is once you pray against it and you start feeling back to your normal self, you'll notice that the desire you had for a counterfeit, finally, it's gone. That's how you'll know. Protect your heart in this season. Protect your heart in this season. In general, but in this season very heavily, because the mission right now that they're trying to do is they're trying to turn children of God cold. They're trying to make children of God lose their desire for love or lose their desire to be happy, which means a lack of motivation to fulfill God's will or to continue walking with God. Then you're going to start resisting God's plans for your life. Then you're going to be your own biggest blockage because you did not rebuke what it is that was being done because you didn't receive the knowledge about it, right? So now that you know, protect your heart. Protect your heart. Okay? Anyways, I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.